Hey, g'day. A big apology for the few minutes late start. Rose, can you actually believe that 70 years
70
of
years.
Pathfinders worldwide? Hey, how awesome. We had a little glitch getting into YouTube, but we hopefully that you're all able to watch. One of the exciting things is that, hey, this is Australia and Australian Pathfinders. What do you think? All you Aussies out there, this is pretty awesome. It's upside down, but that's okay.
There we go.
So this flag actually has a bit of history right back in Tasmanian Pathfinders that used to fly at the Camporees back in the 1970s. Can you believe that? Rose, tell us something about Pathfinders.
Well, Pathfinders, and before I say something about Pathfinders, I know many of you are either watching on YouTube or on Facebook, and we invite you, if you see a photo or something that sparks a memory, please share those memories with us on the Facebook chat or on the YouTube chat at the bottom, and feel free to interact with one another, and we'd love to have you share your memories. Pathfinders is part, or you guys, whoever's watching, if you're part of a Pathfinder club, did you know you're part of a worldwide community of over 1.5 million Pathfinders from 40,000 clubs spread across, get this, 150 different countries. It's massive.
Wow, that's incredible. Hey, listen, we've just been actually putting a few stamps on the board. We ought to just do another one or two, Rose. What do you think?
All right, let's see. What have we got there, Jeff?
Well, I can't read it because it's pretty small print, but these stamps all related to different Pathfinder events, and there's a whole box of them here. We're really excited. I don't know if we use these much anymore, but we think they're pretty awesome. Hey, you know what? 3 weeks ago, we actually put a Dropbox up for you guys to drop in your photos, and we've had over 1,000 photos. So I've been breathing, living, and literally dreaming Pathfinders. I woke up this morning at 5 a.m, Rose, dreaming about Pathfinders marching. Can you believe that? And the night before was the same at 5 a.m. So 2 nights in a row I've had all these Pathfinder pictures and things going on in my head. You know, I should have been dreaming about spring flowers because it's springtime, or riding my Harley Davidson on the Dandenong Ranges, but no, it was Pathfinders, and we're really excited about that. Rose, we're going to go to a slide now that actually shows me as a Pathfinder right in the middle, up the back, looking sideways.
Jeff. There he is.
1973, 4-ish.
Have you still got that uniform?
No.
Oh.
No, it doesn't really fit anymore. But that was back in Wagga Wagga. Big shout out to Wagga Wagga in South New South Wales. And Rose, you've been in Pathfinders a little shorter than that.
Yeah, a much shorter time period. So this is, Jeff actually asked me for a photo, and I realised I haven't really taken too many photos, but this is at Fair and Rally Day last year. So we've got some of our lovely DDs, our very helpful DDs, and Phil and myself. And as I said, we don't really have any serious photos together. So this was, a really fun day.
Cool, very good. Hey, a couple of things. We're just really excited to have you all with us this afternoon. Pathfinders is actually 70 years old worldwide, a little bit younger in Australia, and we're about to share some of that with you. But I want you to look at this photo. This is probably, Rose, the oldest photo of Pathfinders in Australia that I know of. Now, that doesn't mean it's not older, but...
Wow.
And I'm not going to tell you where it is now. Some of you might be able to guess.
Try and guess the year on the comments.
Yeah, try and guess how old that photo is. I'll give you a clue. It's before 1960. All right, so it gives you a bit of a hint.
Wow.
But it goes back a long time.
Yeah, wow.
Pathfinder history. So today we're going to just dabble into a little bit of history and a bit of look at what's been happening, and particularly, I guess, what's been happening in Australia. And Rose, share with us.
I'll read this. As youth director of the Southeastern California Conference in 1946, J.H. Hancock decided to launch a program. Since the name of their camp was Pathfinder Camp, it seemed logical that they would call this the JMV Pathfinder Club. The first conference-sponsored Pathfinder Club was held in Riverside, California, with a young man by the name of Francis Hunt as director. The idea quickly spread to other local conferences in 1940, and in 1947, the General Conference Youth Department asked the Pacific Union to develop a Pathfinder program on an experimental basis. This union, under the leadership of J.R. Nelson, developed the Pathfinder idea from a few scattered experiments to a unified plan. And in 1950, the General Conference officially authorised the establishment of the JMV Pathfinder Clubs for the world field.
And you know what? Right back in 1922, Master Comrades, or what we know as Master Guides, came into existence. And this is 1950. This is actually
Wow.
70 years ago. This is some of our Master Guides walking up Avondale College. So this is
Wow,
gives you
history.
a bit of a picture. And if you look at this here, this is actually those who actually did Master Guides in 1950. So this is 70 years ago. They weren't officially Pathfinders, Rose, but
Yes.
it's so linked.
Yeah.
We're going to nearly claim it, not
Yeah.
quite. But look at some of those names. There's names like Trim and Des Ford and Betty Lambert and Shelby and Herb Pocock. There's just a bunch of names. That's 70
Wow.
years ago.
Wow.
And you might struggle to read this, Rose, but on the left-hand side you'll see 1952. It's got
Yes.
first quarter 1952, the Leaders' Digest out of Sydney. And the first Pathfinder club that we have proof for in Australia is Wahroonga.
Wahroonga,
in
wow.
Sydney, New South Wales. And you'll see there, and maybe we can't really read it from our distance, but there's lots of things talking about that first club. And here, Rose, here is a bunch of all the names written down by hand that were in
Wow.
that first club.
Yeah, amazing.
So this is the actual handwritten list of that Wahroonga JMV Society back in 1952. And these two people, still alive today, were actually members of that first club.
Wow. Yeah.
And,
wow.
and the really neat thing, Rose, is this week I only found out that that's my father. Oh, I knew it's my father-in-law, but I found out that he was in that club.
Oh, there you go.
So my father-in-law, Barry,
Yeah.
Barry Satchel, he was
Yeah.
part of that club, and I rang him and said, "Did you know you were
Yeah.
part of the first club?" And he
Yeah.
said, "No, I was
Yeah,
in a
there you
club."
go.
But yeah, how
Didn't
good
know
is
it was
that?
the first one. Awesome.
And he said that some of the amazing things that happened there were really quite life-changing for him. So there's a little picture of Pathfinders, and check this out. This is 1952. We have the world president of the church there, Branson, and you can read the names there of a bunch of different people that came over to actually visit us in
yes.
Australia.
Yes.
Look at that little news clipping there out of some Sydney newspaper talking about the whole concept. And that's Thursday, the 13th of September, 1952. So that gives us a
Yes.
bit of a benchmark
Absolutely.
for Pathfinders in Australia.
Yeah. So in 1952, we have the first club established, the Wahroonga Pathfinder Club, and you'll see how the Pathfinder clubs were established. So we've got Stanmore Pathfinder Club, also in 1952, followed in 1953 by Auburn Pathfinder Club, Preston.
Vic, go Vic.
Yeah,
go
then
Vic.
Victoria comes up, yay. And then on June 1st of that same year, we have the Australian Pathfinder Leadership Training in Tasmania. Shout out to all you Tasmanians watching today. And 1954, the Wallsend Pathfinder Club, North New South Wales, Ballarat Club, Wagga Wagga Club, the Mona Club in Tasmania, and from October... Oops,
Oops, sorry,
doesn't
I jumped
matter.
ahead.
Let's jump ahead. 1955, we have Greater Sydney Conference, the Fairfield Pathfinder Club, followed by Concord, Parramatta. 1956, Toowoomba, Sale. So as you can see, we're progressively expanding across Australia. And 1957 in Papua New Guinea, the Jones Missionary College. 1958, South Brisbane Club, and 1959, Tamaru Club in South New Zealand.
And right at the bottom there, West Australia. That's when
Yes.
it actually branched across the west. Hey, you guys over in the west side. Really, really cool. So this afternoon we want to actually have a bit of a snapshot of camporees, because camporees are so integral and such an important part of pathfinding. And I brought a couple of old flags over there. We'll have a look at it in a little bit. But I just want to go back to, we'll go to a slide and we'll just check. Well, of course, that's the last one. So I guess we've started last.
Yes.
But now we're going to go back to the first one.
Trip through memory lane.
And believe it or not, unless someone can find something older than this, we believe that the first camporee was held in Victoria. We're not even sure where, in 1959. Pastor Ken Mead was a part of that. And so that's a bit of a snapshot. And then we go to 1968. And this was a disaster at Sawdell. It was not real. It was
Yes.
like a simulated plane crash, and they had to do first aid.
Wow.
They tricked them all apparently.
Yeah.
And then back in the 90s, this was replicated back in the 90s with Pastor Wayne French. Pretty awesome. But there's another camporee in South Queensland. Pretty awesome. Look at those people dressed up in the uniform, 1972.
Yeah.
And then we go to this one, Yarramundi. And this one is a significant one because it was the first one that actually bridged Australia and New Zealand together. So it was the end of 74, start of 75. So I probably should have 74/75 there. But there's a bit of a shot of the stage. Can you see the high product, all the money that's gone into that stage there, Rose? And it was pretty simple.
Look at all the artistic skill, though. That's what a kookaburra and a...
It's
yeah,
pretty awesome.
great.
Yeah, let's have a look at another picture. Another one that's just going up on the screen. This one is actually a silent movie, Rose. So we're going to have to give this a commentary.
Wow.
But you'll notice there that I stopped the picture there so you can see one of the clubs, Moree
yes.
in North New South Wales. And to the right of them, I'm pretty sure it was Murwillumbah. And to the left is, I think, Ponsonby from New Zealand. So this was the first Australian-New Zealand club at Yarramundi. And Ray Schofield, who took this video, actually lived right next door to this property and helped find this property. And his son, Glenn, sent me these yesterday.
Oh,
so
wow, there you go.
Check this out. What do you think? And no sound, I think, back then in the 70s.
I can't believe they have video from then. That's
it's
fantastic.
Pretty awesome, isn't it? What do you think of the marching? They're doing well. I think in a minute, maybe we'll just have to wait. I think there's something pretty cool coming up. Let's go to this one. Check out what's going to go past. I'm pretty sure there's a dog in the parade. Now, I haven't seen a dog in the parade for a long time. There it is.
Oh, wow.
Hey, look at that. I don't know whether it's a mascot or what it is, but pretty incredible. Look at that. 1974-5 Yarramundi Inter-Union Camporee. So that was the first big camporee, and that was 45 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so pretty awesome. Let's continue on. You'll see a bunch of the people there. It was obviously very patriarchal back then.
Yes.
You girls didn't feature, sorry. But it says First Division Camporee in the picture. That wasn't quite right because the whole division wasn't here. It was an inter-union camporee. Pretty awesome. And there's some of the pictures of just people sitting there. I guess they're about to probably Sabbath morning, who knows. Yeah. That's Pastor Leo Randzelin, I think it was. He was the General Conference Youth Director.
There you go, yeah.
Sitting there, they made him a special chair to carry him in.
A wooden throne.
And there he is giving some award to some young guys up in Wauchope, North New South Wales Conference. But pretty exciting to see. And check this out. And I know our pictures, Rose is sort of blocking it a little bit, but Rockhampton Pathfinder Club, 1975, heading off on TAA. Do you even know what TAA is?
I don't know what TAA is. Please share, Jeff.
Yeah, I think it was Trans-Australian Airlines.
There you go.
It was the precursor to...
Right.
Well, probably to Ansett, I don't really know. But one of those a long time ago. And just a few more photos of Yarramundi. And then we go to Tasmania. And this actually was my first big camporee race, 1979.
Wow.
There was two. There was one in somewhere in New Zealand, and there was one in Tasmania. And I was living in the Trans-Australian Union Conference. That's what that means. And then there was the Trans-Tasman Union Conference.
Right.
And Tasmania, Purton's Flat, about 2,000 of us. And it was pretty exciting. Remember the first day we went there, they actually pulled a lobster out of the river. It was a freshwater lobster. And they brought it up the front and they said, you can swim in the river, no problem at all, but just watch the lobsters. And it's about this long, literally.
Yeah, wow.
And,
did you go swimming?
Yeah, we did. And then he grabbed the pencil and he put it in the nipper and it just went and broke the pencil. And I thought, are we going to swim in this? And I guess one of the flags, I think I'm getting ahead of myself. This is actually a little bit later. We'll get back to that one. Let's keep moving. Brisbane River. Oh, that was it. That's just what I had. So I wasn't really ahead of myself, was I? So the Brisbane River Camporee. Then you've got this one here is we had two camporees, one in Toohey Ridge and one in Lycola. Unfortunately, we don't have any footage for Toohey Ridge, but Lycola we do. That's in Victoria, 1987. Hey Rose, interesting this week. I found a couple of weeks ago, a bunch of videos, VHS videos.
Yeah.
And I thought, how am I going to get VHS videos onto a screen in a digital world? And it's lockdown, of course, so we can't do much in Melbourne. So I put a little note on Facebook to my neighbourhood. Does anyone have a VHS video player that I can loan for 2 days?
Yeah.
And
set
it up, played it on the TV, recorded it with a camera, so it's a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's enjoy TAUC Lacola Camperee video.
There's an old saying that goes something like this: blue and green should never be seen. Trouble is, whoever said that had missed out on the perfect balance of colours in the South Gippsland cattle country near Hayfield. Lush greens and blue sky reflected in the slowly winding McAllister River. Nicola. It's a name that wouldn't have meant much to anyone before January 1987. That has changed. For in that month, the Trans-Australian Union Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church held a camperee that will linger in the memories of hundreds of pathfinders.
Hey, Rose, what did you think of that? That's pretty awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, wow.
Fantastic. Just want to, once we get back onto the screen, I just wanted to show you this old classy 1950s model sash. What do you think of that?
They've hand-stitched all of their honours on, which
That is incredibly good. I am really impressed. And Rose, you've got something pretty special there too.
Yes. I've got these little ones. Jeff will tell you. Oops, that screen.
So that Yarramundi, that first camperee, these were actually printed on felt, so they're pretty much worn out for everybody. So no one can actually, no one really has these. So this is a pretty rare thing. You can't have them because we've got them. How cool is that? Anyway, let's go back to the screen and continue with camperees. This is Treasure Bend Camperee, Victoria, 1991.
Quick, Grandpa, come and see the Treasure Bend Camperee video. It's on TV right now.
Hey, don't rush me, lad. And you don't have to yell. I'm not deaf. Turn up the volume a wee bit, laddie. Hey, you'll need to tell me all about it. I didn't get to see very much. They had me tied up at the stage most of the time. Well, where are the tents?
These are just some of the 4,000 pathfinders lined up at the gates on Monday morning, ready to get in and set up.
Looks more like a car rally or a wilderness safari to me.
Well, Grandpa, Many have been travelling for over a week just to get to the camporee. Our leaders had us busy setting up our camp so we'd be ready for the open parade.
Hooray! Attention! Colour guard, fall out! Colour guard, to the flag, quick march! Flag bearers, fall out!
So, have any of you recognised yourselves yet? We've got this, Rose is holding up, and we'll come back to live in a minute, but Rose is holding up the actual flag that flew at that camporee. How good's that? There's
Amazing.
a lot of history in that. 1991, that's a lot of years ago. Pretty exciting. I am quite impressed with what pathfinders are able to do. What do you think, Rose?
Oh, definitely.
Like, we've been on some events. I can remember back in the early 90s going on a Pathfinder expedition into the Wild Dog Mountains, and that probably should have been just a warning in itself, the Wild Dog Mountains. But it ended up being an incredibly shocking weather weekend, and I can remember getting so flooded in I thought that I would never see dry land ever again. But you know what? We survived it, and we believe that that was one of the most exciting events that we'd been to for a long time. Let's move to the next of our camporees on the screen and check this one out. Make a difference. I jumped too far. Whoops, we got a glitch in that. We'll keep going and see if we got this one. Kalani Waters.
Over 1,300 teams and leaders. Days of adventure. Discovering the beauty of the mighty Nullarbor. Short nights. Growing anticipation. The messages said it was for real. A camporee, heaps of fun, new friends, awesome challenges.
Event without a flower,
Yes,
a
indeed.
little bit of flour and stuff, and then we move on to Century's End. We're moving every about 4 years. There is a major camporee in Australia, and so Century's End camporee 1999. This was an inter-union camporee. Australia and New Zealand, both countries come together, and this was at a place called Tabulum, and I had a fair bit to do with this one. It was a lot of fun. I've got a scar on my wrist to prove it, cut down to the bone, but, you know, we won't go into that story. Hey, how are we going out there, people? How are we going? Do you remember ever going to Grandma's place and Grandma says, I've got a few photos to show to you. I want to show you some photos. And she gets out the photo album, and then you realise that this is going to be a long journey. That's how we are this afternoon. We've got out the photo album, and the journey's going to be a bit long, but stick with us as we continue on. Let's go back to Century's End, Camporee.
What is going on here? What is all this laughter and fun about? And all this drama? Well, I'm so glad you asked. For this is what happened. This is what took place at Century's End, Camporee, January 1999.
We just come back to live for a minute, and you'll see that there is that flag as well. That was a pretty awesome Camporee. The only thing that was put the damper on that Camporee, Rose, was on the last night. We all came up to that massive big Egyptian set.
Yes.
And we were ready for the last instalment of the drama.
Yes.
And we were so excited about it. And probably the most craziest storm ever hit.
Oh, wow.
And you know what? It shut everything down,
no.
and we none of us saw the finale of the drama.
Oh, no.
So that was it.
Terrible.
They decided they were still going to do the fireworks in the rain. It was pouring rain. It
wow.
was flooding down the hills. You know, the fun of Pathfinder.
Yes.
But you know what? We keep on coming back.
Yes.
Let's keep on going. I think we're just looking at 2003 now. And you might realise that we used to have a couple of unions between Australia and New Zealand. And in about the 2001-2 mark, we actually changed it to an Australian union and New Zealand separate. And this was the first Australia-only union, Camporee. And I'll tell you what, this was a crazy place. We actually went into a desert setting. Now, sorry for those guys who live in the Riverland in South Australia. We love you. But you know what? This place, this is arid. This is really, really arid. And it was 45 degrees most days.
Whoa.
And there was dust, and there was it was crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what? We loved it.
Yeah.
And you say, but there's green grass there. But we actually watered that for like 2 months.
No way.
Just before
There you
out of the Murray River. But it was awesome. And you know what? Memories are made because of crazy things that happen. And Waikerie was one of those Camporees. Let's have a look at some of the pictures. There's a bunch of the staff. You know, this is the commitment to Pathfinders.
Yes.
Hundreds of people that are willing to put in 100%. Well, let's say 110% because they actually go further than 100% to put in. You can just see in the front of that stage there's a full lake. Can you see that right across? That's
I
like
can.
30 metres long.
Whoa.
And it actually parted when they crossed it. Like when they crossed the Red Sea or whatever it is. And Joshua, it was pretty amazing.
Incredible.
Pretty amazing. And, you know, this is one of the activities, the
Yes.
mud. We've got to have mud at Pathfinder events. What do you think?
Indeed,
Mud.
they
Mud's
go
important.
together.
And this is Wagga Club. I can pick Wagga. There's Sharon Celtica, was Bostock. There's Ian Bostock and a few others. Wagga Club. And I want to show you this little clip of Riverland Camporee.
Conquer Riverland Pathfinder Camporee of 2003. Come with us as we celebrate and explore through the Camporee activities and worships the life and times of Joshua, that great leader of Israel, as he led his people across the River Jordan and on into the Promised Land. Hang on to your hats, Pathfinders, for you are about to be transported back in time to where it all happened. Waikerie, South Australia, to relive all those great memories and get another taste of the action from the first ever Australian Union Conference Pathfinder Camporee.
Pathfinders have so much fun. This is the 12th Gate Camporee. This one was actually the first South Pacific Division Camporee held at Stewart's Point. And there was something like 6,500 Pathfinders from Australia, New Zealand and all of the 14, pretty much all of the 14 countries that are in the South Pacific Division. This was an awesome time. And then we went to this Camporee, and a big shout out to Tony Knight. Everyone knows Tony Knight. He actually set up that first AUC Camporee that we just looked at. And this was the next one that was called Under Oath, 2011 Toowoomba. And you know what? This Camporee, we talk about struggles. This was the one we got totally flooded out. This is when half of the east of Australia went underwater. And this is when there was lots of people that lost their lives across Australia while this Camporee was happening and when it finished. And I guess that this picture sort of portrays a little bit of that's out the front door of my campsite. I actually camped right beside that, and that's a photo looking down the hill.
That's a river.
But you can see down the bottom of the hill, that's all flood. Like we were seriously flooded out, and we actually had, and you might have seen that original picture there. Well, we can't quite because it's under the picture-in-picture, but it's got Subcamp Survivor. We actually set up a special subcamp in a building that went, Oh, hang on, I've just got YouTube on here as well. But that's pretty incredible. It was an incredible event. And then we went to I-Thirst, the second South Pacific Division Camporee. Check out this little bit of footage from this Camporee. Hey Rose, let's check out this this picture here. This is actually just a few. This is the World Youth Director for Pathfinders up the front there, and Pastor Gilbert Kanji was also the General Conference Youth Director, and a bunch of us crazies. But we'll go back to just live for a minute, and I just want to show you here we've got a special thing that came from this camporee, Rose. This was actually a capsule. Now, yeah, we open it up, and inside there is a copper tube, and it's got a bunch of goodies in it. Now, I don't know if we're allowed to open it or not. Do you think we're allowed to open it?
I don't know. You're the boss.
Well,
Should we
it has a
open
screw
it?
top on it, and it's got some goodies in it. We probably should have a look, should we? Should we? Should
yeah.
we?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we are now.
Well, we are.
So inside there is we'll be real careful with that. There's a flag. We won't open it. Oh, look. I think should I? Nah.
Look, it's
Just all the
wow,
goodies. They're all the
nice.
goodies that you would have got, back in the day. But that's for future memories, and we'll put the
put
flag
that back into
in.
the time capsule.
We didn't look at that, did we?
yeah.
It doesn't say we weren't allowed to open it, so we had a good look at that. That's pretty cool. Let's go to the next camporee, the last camporee. Well, just finishing off with this one. That just shows the commitment of the people for that I Thirst camporee. They're just the staff, Rose.
Yeah, that's amazing.
The people that are willing to give up their time, all volunteers, to give up their time to be a part of putting an event like this on for 8,000 plus people. Our last one, just up not that long ago. Seems
that
like
long
last week, but it was actually a
Yeah.
while now.
Yes.
2019, just up the road in Molesworth, Victoria, with about 3,000 odd pathfinders. And what an awesome event that was. We had so many fun memories.
We did.
Let's have a look at this video of our camporee.
And as you speak, 100 billion galaxies are born. Every painted sky, a canvas of your grace. If creation still obeys you, so will I. So will If the stars ablaze in worship, so will I. If the mountains bow in reverence, so will I. For if everything exists to lift you high, so will I. If the wind goes where you send it, so will I. If the rocks cry out in silence, so will I. If the sum of all our praises still falls short, then we'll sing again 100 billion times.
And now we're going to go to some local memories from different conferences around Australia. And first we have Joel with the South Australian Conference.
Uh-oh. We're up.
Hi, my name's Joel, and on behalf of everyone here in South Australia, I'd like to welcome you to the Uplink today. It's great to have an opportunity to celebrate what Pathfinders has done over the last 70 years and the lives that have been transformed as a result of this ministry. I want to invite you guys to sit back, relax, and enjoy some of the incredible memories that are going to be shared today. And we hope that you enjoy what has been provided for you.
Just check out some of these pictures, Rose. This is going back into the 1950s. This is Riverland Club, where that camporee was. And this is actually Warren May. Warren May helped us a lot set up that camporee in that deserty spot I was talking about, and his sister. But just a few memories of Riverland, because Riverland sent in a bunch of old stuff This is at Ankara Youth Camp, and they're doing some Pathfinder fair. What do you think of the chariot? Looks like it's got a broken wheel. It's not going too well. And a bit more fun, but that's the real thing about Pathfinders. It's a whole lot of connection with God, but a whole lot of fun as well. And here's Warren May a bit later on in life, marching down the street with the Riverland Berry Pathfinders. Pretty awesome. Jumping back, I think we've gone chronologically back a little bit. Some of the fun things that club has done. And now
we've got Pastor Daniel Matteo with the Tasmanian Conference.
My name's Pastor Daniel Matteo, and I am the Youth Director in the Tasmanian Conference, the very, very best Pathfinder region in the whole world. We are so proud of our Pathfinder and Venturer leaders, and so happy about what they're doing. We have so much fun together, and it's a really close, tight-knit community. And so I want to welcome you on behalf of the Tasmanian Pathfinders to the Uplink today, and I hope you have a great time worshipping God and seeing what other Pathfinders are doing around our region. God bless.
Is anyone going to take Daniel on with the best Pathfinders in the world? I'm sure there's a few that will challenge that. This is Glenorchy Pathfinder Club, probably in the 70s, I'm guessing. Glenda Reed is in that photo, send that one in. Pretty awesome. Here's the same club, well, a long time later, back in that Riverland camporee. Here's our expedition up in the high country, back when I was a Pathfinder director there. Oops, I'm in that one. And here is the same front of the same building, Glenorchy Church, the Glenorchy Pathfinders and Adventurers. Hello, Adventurers. They're going to come up in the helping hands soon and will be with us. Jacinda on the left, she sent this one in. Thank you, Jacinda. Here's some memories of Alan Walsh and a few others at a camporee or a Pathfinder fair. Glenorchy Club getting back into the 70s, 80s. Check that out. What do you reckon? The fashion's pretty cool.
Yeah. Bring it back.
That's Paul Creswell there. Anyone believe that? Paul Creswell? Wow. Paul Creswell's the South Queensland legend now, but back in the day he was living in Tasmania, I'm guessing. Can you just believe that was Launceston Pathfinder Club? I mean, that looks so big.
Yeah, that's huge.
Launceston, you are incredible. And Launceston, I think, is one of the longest running clubs, continuous. Not the longest, but one of the longest running clubs, particularly in Tasmania. Just a few other photos of just recently. Pathfinders alive and well in the good old Tasmanian, particularly when you've got a spot like this.
Indeed.
Spring Beach.
Beautiful.
How good is that? Maria Island as a backdrop. Tasmania, you are legends. Look at that, walls of Jerusalem. Oh, I just want to go there.
I know.
Let's go to West Australia.
And we've got Pastor Willie. He's going to represent Western Australia because the West is best.
Hi guys, look, my name is Willie. I am from Western Australia, and we are celebrating 70 years of Pathfinder ministry in Australia. And I just want to give a big thank you to the many, many volunteers that have put in such a great effort in making Pathfinder ministry for what it is and changing so many kids' lives. But I want to particularly thank our WA guys that have volunteered their time, their effort and energy into impacting our young people's lives. So thank you very much and enjoy this day as we celebrate youth ministry and Pathfinder ministry. All right, God bless.
Thanks, Willie. And we're going back to a really old photo. This one could nearly rival that other one. You know?
Yeah, sure.
But I think it's probably late 1950s. Oh, no, there you go. It's got it written in the middle of the photo, 1961.
Oh, yeah.
So 1961, this is Bickley Pathfinders up on the hill there in the outskirts of Perth. Hello, Bickley Pathfinders. I'm sure you're watching this afternoon. There's some sort of a Pathfinder fair. We're getting back into the 60s. Look at that uniform.
Yeah.
How good is that?
I love it.
They're looking pretty official. I don't mind the fashion of the 60s, I have to say. I think it looks all right. Bickley Club, probably a bit later. Who knows? But getting it on. Oh, this photo looks like it's, I don't know, it's just incredible. I reckon that is just such a good photo of Pathfinder.
Indeed.
And that's the Bickley Club somewhere on there. Look at the tents, will you? Those tents look like they're out of Little House on the Prairie or something. So good. And there the club is again, in all lined up. Pretty awesome. So Bickley's got a really good historical record. And I encourage you as clubs to actually try and get your historical record of your club in place, because I think this is really important to look back in the future. of pathfinding in Australia. And here's Bickley, probably in the 70s, I'm guessing. It looks a bit 70s, doesn't it?
does look
70s, maybe
70s.
80s. Got the big buffy hair going on. I'm sorry, people. And there's a more recent one, I think,
Lovely.
within the last year or two.
Nice.
Bickley Pathfinder Club. And thanks. And they love to get outdoors. There's a whole lot more clubs over there than Bickley, but this is unfortunately the only stuff we got from West Australia. Oh, this one here. We've got one more. I think this is 1975, going to that Yarramundi Camporee from West Australia.
And now we have fearless leader Phil Highland representing Victoria.
Go, Phil.
Thank you, Rose. Where would Pathfinders be without our dedicated and committed leaders and volunteers? On my office wall, sitting behind me, is our premier Pathfinder Award for Victoria, the Dave Shepherd Award. Now, Dave Shepherd served in this conference for many, many years, both as a club leader and as a district director, until his passing in 1995. In 1996, they created the Dave Shepherd Award, which is the most sought-after award of any Pathfinder club in Victoria. To commemorate the 50th anniversary of Pathfinders in Victoria, Pastor Ken Mead in 2004 did this painting to celebrate that occasion. Pastor Ken Mead was also the youth director in this conference from 1955 to 1959. These two men, Dave Shepherd and Pastor Ken Mead, represent the countless men and women, youth directors, Pathfinder directors, district directors and volunteers who have served Pathfinders in Victoria over many decades and on whose shoulders we now stand.
Thanks, Phil. We're going to go to Shepparton Pathfinder Club. And the year is around about 1963, so it's a long time ago. And there might be some faces there that you know, maybe not, maybe your grandparents.
Yeah, perhaps.
Who knows? And there's an early event back in that same era, some sort of a Pathfinder Fair Day or a Camporee of some sort. You can see a few of the clubs. I don't even think there is such a club in Victoria as Bales that you know of. I don't know.
Bales,
maybe.
yeah.
Oh, there is.
Or
Sorry.
Adventurers, yeah.
Sorry, guys. You still exist. But there's a few different clubs there. You can see them lined up. There's, you know, Rick, one of our team, Rick Hergen, that's his mum,
Oh,
Wendy.
there you go.
So we had to put that in. Wendy Hergen, South New South Wales, Bega. Good on you, Wendy. 1960s. And here we go to Alan Daff and his wife, and they were some of the founders of the Ballarat Club. So they were early days. We're talking. You read out that on the list. I think it was about 1950.
Yeah.
Early 54 or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's in the history, but it was early days. And this family, the Daff family, spent a lot of time with this club in Ballarat. And there they are. Well, there's Alan Daff a few years later on the right. Some of those old pictures. Maybe you know some of these people. Geelong. Are you still out there, Geelong? I'm sure you are. There's Geelong Club, 1963. Can't tell you which club that is. It's a Victorian club, but yeah, they look good. And this is actually right here. We're actually uplinking from Lilydale, and a big shout out to the Lilydale crew today. Rowan and Woody and Kaylin, and they've just been helping us big time. And this is actually, we're in Lilydale, and this was in Lilydale in 1975 from Edinburgh College, or what was it known as? Lilydale Academy?
Academy,
back in the day.
Academy.
So yeah, so there's some of the things. There is a club from Greensborough in Victoria, 1974-5. Obviously it's the short skirt era. And some of the same group. A little bit later, this is a bit more modern now, because Pathfinders is really active in this conference, there's no doubt about that. Shout out to the local clubs. Then we go to Wanturna. Wanturna sent a bunch in, Joel. Thanks, Joel. And there's a whole heap of real old classic photos. Looks like they had a lot of fun, this club. So I put a few photos there. This is Carrum Downs, I'm pretty sure. Carrum Downs. Looks like they've just won that Dave Shepherd Award.
Yes,
Well done, guys. How good is that? Lilydale. This is Lilydale's
Lilydale.
back in the day. I'm not sure exactly what era, probably in the 70s. Look at them. Lilydale, you legends. And you know what? Because Lilydale's hosting it today, I had to actually put in a modern little video clip just of their camp. Because you know what? About the time that this camp happened, the next weekend we got locked down.
Yes,
and we've kind of
yes.
been locked down ever since. So this is a celebration
Indeed.
of what it would be like if we could have it.
And now representing Northern Australia, we have Pastor Travis.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Pastor Travis from the Northern Australian Conference. I'm the youth director here. Just want a big shout out to the Pathfinders as they turn 70. Happy birthday and happy Sabbath. God bless.
Hey, and when we go looking at Northern Australia, we find this legend, John Wells. John Wells is, you know what, he's an antique in Pathfinders. I'm going to put it that way this afternoon. He's an antique of Pathfinders. He's kind of still involved, I think, with the Lord Howe Island Pathfinder Club. But he's been involved with Pathfinders probably for 40 or 50 years. I'm not exactly sure what it is. But he was up in Northern Australia. There's Christos. When Christos was the youth director in the centre there, he's given out the commands. A few of the clubs from the top end of Australia. We love you up there. Just wish we were up there with you at the minute.
Yeah.
Beautiful weather. Northern Australia, how good is that? Look at these guys. Looks like they're ready to march on any parade. Had a heap of fun. Now that's the face of a true young man Pathfinder. What do you reckon?
Indeed.
You know what? That guy has just got the passion. Both of them actually, because the other face is just as good.
Yeah.
We have got through this mud pit and we're coming out the other side. Good on you guys, whoever you are. There's always a time to slow down and to to connect with God as well in Pathfinders, and I think that's really cool. And that's just, I guess, a symbol of that. Dana, who was the youth director, he's doing an investiture. Good on you, mate. And just a few of the pictures of Northern Australia having some fun as Pathfinders. Well done.
And now we have Pastor Christos representing South Queensland.
Hello everyone, my name is Pastor Christos and I'm the Youth Director for the South Queensland Conference. Queensland is blessed with some of the most amazing outdoor recreation spots in the country. We have an amazing team of district directors from all different walks of life. We've invested so much into building such an amazing ministry as Pathfinders in this conference. No matter where you are, where you're watching from, we just pray that you are blessed as you celebrate 70 years of Pathfindering. God bless.
Thanks, Christos. There's a lot of history in South Queensland, as you saw. They were early starters in Pathfinders. Here's a bunch of Pathfinders going to fly Ansett to Yarramundi Camporee in 1974. I think you'll find this is Rockhampton. They even got the Queen in this photo. They're doing well. But yeah, look at those black and white pics. That was pretty standard for the 70s. Hey, what do you think of those trousers? They're pretty cool. There's a fashion statement for the 70s. That's some cool clothes. I wonder what these young men are doing, because that was 45 years ago. So you know what? Those guys are about 60 now.
Yeah.
And there you go. We got some real serious tenting and a salute happening. And the mess kit, the thing on the ground to eat out of, all those fun Pathfinder things. Killingar, I could never say that, but that's the campground up there. And here's some sort of a parade taking place in 1960s. Thanks, Dana, for sending these in. And they even featured with their event in Guide magazine. Watch those Australians.
Wow.
American Guide magazine, looking at those South Queenslanders doing their stuff. Pretty cool. And there's a few more people flying the TAA back in the day, going to that Yarramundi Camporee. Look how modern that bus is. On parade, looking sharp. I'm sure there's a few adventurers that slipped in the front of that photo. But that's a classic old photo too, going back into probably the 50s. Look at those guys. Pastor Possingham. Pastor Possingham is a legend of pathfindering, and here he is. He's about to get the throne treatment. I don't know if I trust those guys, especially since I know Clive Thorpe up the back. I know him, and I'm not sure I trust them, but you know what? They're good guys. And there's a bunch of South Queenslanders. Pretty awesome. You've heard of Nick Cross, have you, Rose?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, Nick Cross. Look at you, Nick
G'day,
Cross.
Nick.
1995, and of course the others. That's 25 years ago. So that young lady there, probably about 15 years old, she's not going to be 15 anymore.
No.
Nick Cross, love the hairdo, mate. Cool stuff. This is an inter-conference camporee between South Queensland and Northern Australia. I think within the last 4 or 5 years. You can see, what's it say there? Eden's Landing, flag bearer, but there's a bunch of other flag bearers there. I rip a photo from Charmaine.
And now we have Pastor Dana and Pastor Blair representing North New South Wales.
G'day, my name's Pastor Dana.
And I'm Blair, and we want to welcome you to the 70th year Pathfinder Anniversary Weekend.
Yep, and we would like to welcome North New South Wales Pathfinders. Welcome along to this program, 70 years. Welcome to North New South Wales leaders who do so much. Welcome to the North New South Wales District Directors who help us so much. And welcome to any adventurers who might be watching who are going to be Pathfinders next year. Welcome along.
We're excited about this weekend. We're dressed up. We're ready to go. We're inviting you to join us, although you don't have to wear your uniform.
Yeah, but I want you to remember one thing. 70 years ago, Pathfinders was set up so that we could learn more about Jesus in a nature and outdoor setting. So Pathfinders really revolves around Jesus. Remember that as we go through our 70-year anniversary. God bless.
God bless.
Catch you later.
Oh, what is going on there?
That's Blair's lockdown fashion.
Dear me. Hey, check out this. You know, we're going back into the first Pathfinder Club of North New South Wales. This is Wallsend Pathfinders. And Wallsend Pathfinders started in 1954, so that's a long time ago. Yes. And I think that this photo is a 1954 photo, at least 54, maybe 55. And that's the photo that we had before, and I remember we said, can you guess which group it is? Well, that's Wallsend Pathfinders. Some classic people there. I'm sure that a lot of you know those people if you live in North New South Wales Conference. Yes, how cool is that? Marlene and Delma. These are grandmothers now.
Yeah.
The Arthur family here, they were like key in pathfindering, and there's Joy Guy now. She's older than me. I'm not. She's probably about the same age. I don't know. Sorry, Joy, but she's not like that anymore. That's a long time ago. And you know what? In 2014, they celebrated 60 years, and they pretty much were able to get all their Pathfinder directors from over the years to come together. I think nearly all of them.
Fascinating.
And look, I've just forgotten the guy who's cutting the cake's name, but classic, original Pathfinder leader. And the cake, I think this photo says more. It's got like a Master Guide symbol and a Pathfinder symbol, and that was a real high day for Wallsend, 2014, 6 years ago. This one here is Avondale Pathfinder Club. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome, isn't it?
It's amazing.
And we can see there a few others. There's Wallsend, there's Maitland. I'm not sure. I think this Pathfinder fair might have been either in Cooranbong or Newcastle, but it's going back well into the 50s or 60s. You can see there, I can't even, Central Something Society. Wollumbar and a few other North New South. That's, you know what, you could put that photo on the wall. That is just a classic pathfinding photo. And I think we should frame that one and stick that up somewhere. Have a look at this. We've just got a bit of footage. This is the Grafton Pathfinder Fair, 1975. Unfortunately, there's no sound. But thanks Glenn for sending this in yesterday. Just a little snapshot of some of the Pathfinder clubs of North New South Wales in 1975. Have they got their march sorted out? Look at that. It's not too bad, actually.
It's pretty good.
Hey? That's not too bad.
That's very good.
Yeah, they're actually walking past the dais at that point, so they're doing all the things right, mostly. Yeah, that's very good. Good on you, North New South Wales. We're just going to flip through a few others. This is Maitland in probably the 70s or 80s. Helen Schultz sent these in. A bunch of Maitland kids. Sure they're growing up now too. Look at the award. They must have been a top club back in the day. And this is an expedition when I was a youth director up there, and this is probably about 9 years ago in the Kapiti National Park. These were all 10, 11-year-olds. They're all
They're
doing
trying to take a jump photo, but it looks like they just missed the...
Yeah, there's a bit of a timing issue, wasn't it?
Still a great photo.
So all these guys are probably doing their their year 12 this year, I'd say. Look how small they are here. And legends like Rick and on this side, they are all legends, but I did it for the reason for putting a photo of Susan up, because Susan was our PA, and you know what? She was the quiet achiever. And she was behind the scenes, and there's always people behind the scenes of pathfinding. And Susan, thanks for, and all other PAs that have just worked so well over the years. We really appreciate you. Central Coast. Look at that one. Master Guides at Yarrahapinni. They're all master guides with Graham Frauenfelder up the back corner. Here's a couple of legends. These guys have put their whole life into pathfinding. Jono, Roz, and Mr. Land Rover. His name's just gone out of my head, but yeah, they're awesome people. Awesome people. And just a little snippet of, you know, some of the creative things in the top end. This is up around Lismore Club, I think. Lismore, Alstonville. Well done. Trying to fill up the toilet system so they can go to the toilet in the bush. I think it's all part of an activity, but I'm not sure it's a real toilet. But how good is that? They got to get the water down from the trailer into it by using little pieces of pipe. And Pathfinders is just so full of fun. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Murwillumbah Club. Murwillumbah Club has been a force to be reckoned with when I was back then, back in the day, and I'm sure they still are.
And now we have Pastor Rick Hernigan with South New South Wales.
Check out that beard.
Everyone, my name's Pastor Rick Hernigan, and I'm the Youth Director for the South New South Wales Conference. Welcome to the Pathfinder celebrations this afternoon. It's hard to believe that Pathfinders has been established for 70 years. There's been a long history of good pathfinding in the South New South Wales Conference. Some of my fondest memories are with Pastor Graham Christian at Camporees and other events that he put on around this great conference. Today we still have over 200 pathfinders in this conference from a range of various churches, and it's a real blessing to see that people from local church, leaders from local church, are still mentoring and discipling the young people in their local churches to this day. I believe Pathfinders is one of the greatest discipleship tools we have amongst young people in our conference today. And as we look back and reflect on the past and where we've been, I just challenge you to look forward to the future and to keep on training and inspiring and equipping your young people to be God's people who go out into the world and make a big difference in His kingdom. Enjoy what you're watching this afternoon, and a big hello to everyone who's been involved or currently is involved in South New South Wales Pathfinders.
So let's go South New South Wales. You know what? Just want to showcase just quickly a club, Bega Club, little country town. These people have just put in so much effort, and I love to see this club just keep on powering on, right back from early days, doing incredible things in the community. Anzac Day. Couple of people there wheeling the old diggers up and down the street. Just a bit of an example of fun in Pathfinders. That's Peachy, Ron Peachy. We're going to get him wet. Look at those kids. The determination on their face. And there's Bega Pathfinders. I have to say that I've even got two of my kids in there. Pretty awesome back in the day. But these are the legends that actually I want to showcase, because this is Barry and Nola Hergenen. And they have put in pretty much a lifetime into Pathfinders. And, you know, Barry's still involved. I know he was up there in South New South Wales a week or two back setting up a Pathfinder expedition. Yeah. And he's been doing it since he was a Pathfinder. And I think that's just incredible. That is just replicated over and over again. And it's just incredibly good. Just a few more photos as we buzz through South New South Wales. Some of the former youth, Andy Mack, some of the DDs. You know what, bunches of patches, and when we come back to live, we'll show you a few on our desk. This is also pretty awesome. This is Nowra. Look at the size of the club. It's pretty small, but you know what? They're committed.
Yeah, indeed.
And you've got adventurers and you've got pathfinders, and you know what? You've got the youth director and the division youth director at their investiture. That's pretty cool to actually turn up at Little Nowra. I think that's pretty sweet. A couple of other little clubs that we're really proud of around Australia. South New South Wales.
And we have now Pastor Phil Yates with Greater Sydney.
Hey guys, Pastor Phil Yates from the Greater Sydney Conference. I hope you are having an awesome celebration. 70 years in Pathfinders worldwide. This is fantastic. So we're celebrating Pathfinders in Australia. We have been truly blessed with some great leaders, but we have been more than blessed with fantastic Pathfinders. So guys, I know up here in Sydney, we are just celebrating and the party's on. So I've got to get to the parties because there's too many to attend, even though it's going to be COVID safe. But we are going to celebrate 70 years. Have a great day and may God bless you wherever you are. Bless you.
Hey, check out that sash. What is going on, Phil Yates?
Show off, Phil.
Yeah. Hey, just a quick couple as we go through Sydney. There's Alan Bates. Alan Bates is a Pathfinder and legend. He's nearly been at every event. You saw him in a lot of those videos. He has put everything, his whole life into Pathfinders. He actually won this as a Pathfinder in 1962, and he still shows it proudly in his place up in Foster, New South Wales. Sydney, of course, hosted that Camporee, Yarramunda. There's a few of the St George people that were there. Check out the long hair. It's definitely the 70s.
Yeah.
Love the Fred Flintstone cart. This is Norfolk Island, part of Greater Sydney Conference. Kenny Westlake's there somewhere, I'm told, but I wouldn't know which one. A few more of Norfolk. And here's Norfolk a bit more recently. Good to see our island clubs out of Norfolk. Let's go to Dundas. Dundas is pretty cool. You know, pretty much every year, I'm not sure about this year, we have the drug-free walk in Sydney, and hundreds of Pathfinders actually walk through Sydney promoting a drug-free lifestyle. And well done, Pathfinders in Sydney. I think that's pretty awesome. I think this might be Holroyd Club. I'm just going from my memory now, so hopefully we're getting it right as we go. Dundas again. Cool. And, well, this one's easy, Mile End. Good on you guys. We're proud of you guys. And here's a few of the leaders. Good photo. I like that one. And they're walking down the street, probably doing a march for Anzac. Who knows? I'm not exactly sure, but it looks pretty good. And there is a group of Sydney Pathfinders. Good on you, Greater Sydney. And of course, there's that old legend, antique Johnny Wells I was talking about. Good on you, John. His sash is nearly as good as Phil's.
Yeah. I think I found someone that has a better sash than you, Phil.
How good is that? And you know what? There's Phil in the middle as the Pathfinder Director of Sydney. And beside him is Simon Gigliotti. He's actually getting ordained right now as we speak.
He
right
is.
now. Well, congratulations, Simon. And the really neat thing here is this photo. I put this photo up because there is Terry Johnson. He's the conference president. And he just wants to put in. And this is replicated again and again and again around the country, where administration wants to get right behind Pathfinders and has done since its inception back in 1952.
And now we have Pastor Nick Cross representing the South Pacific Division.
Good on you, Nick.
Welcome to Worship Pathfinders. Today we're here to celebrate something very special. 70 years of Pathfinder ministry around the world. Did you know that for the last 70 years, dedicated leaders and mums and dads have been gathering together with their children under the banner of a club called Pathfinders. Starting out in California and America and spreading right around the world, Pathfinder leaders have been looking after young people just like you, leading young boys and girls out into nature to experience the amazing things that God has made. Pathfinder leaders have been opening up the Bible and sharing those amazing stories that we know about and we love about Jesus. You know, clubs around Australia have been serving their communities together, camping and hiking, swimming and biking, and learning to do life together as a part of God's big family. And through Pathfinder ministry, boys and girls have found their best friends, they've found acceptance and love and adventure as a place to belong. As we celebrate the 70-year milestone of Pathfinder ministry around the world, let's keep that fire burning and continue the fantastic Pathfinder clubs that we have. I praise God for the Seventh-day Adventist Church and for the vision of those pioneering leaders who took up the challenge to inspire young people to become Pathfinders. And my prayer for all of our local clubs on the 70th anniversary of Pathfinders is that the Lord will give us all strength to keep going. You know, as I think about the Pathfinder Pledge and the Pathfinder Law and the Pathfinder Flag, these represent very important parts of God's church today. Let's keep flying that fantastic flag with the blue and red and white colours. As I think back to my days in pathfindering, the club nights, doing honours, earning patches, the camps, the teen expeditions and the camporees, I made so many friends that I still know today. And before you know it, you'll be grown up with bills to pay and a job to go to, and you'll look back on the great times that you had in Pathfinders with all of your friends. You know, your ministry in Pathfinders is very special. Make the best of your times together. And most of all, get to know Jesus because he is your best friend. God bless you all, from Pastor Nick.
Thanks, Nick. And Nick's done so many things for Pathfinders around Australia. You saw him back in South Queensland a long time ago, and camporees, and there's a group he took across to the Oshkosh Camporee last year. Travelled to America? Does that even happen?
Yeah.
And, you know, a few other groups that he's been involved with supporting. And we want to finish up, Rose. Maybe we'll just go back live here for a minute. But what do you think? I've just brought a few Pathfinder patches. This is, I guess, what Pathfinders is all about. You know, not all about, but you know what? I think it's kind of cool. All the patches. And look at these things that we hang up, these little banners. In West Australia, we've got all sorts of banners for different Pathfinders. Port Fairy, Camporee, Victoria, Treasure Bend. Some pretty cool things. We really love the whole concept of Pathfinders. Make sure you get your sash, get your honours, get your patches on your back.
Jeff's just showing off now.
No. Make sure that you're involved. We're actually going to finish up now, Rose. We're going to say thank you so much for being on our journey of Pathfinders this afternoon. It's been an incredible little journey. I know it's been like looking at Grandma's photo album, and there's a heck of a lot of photos and videos and so on, and you'll be able to go back and check it out maybe on YouTube later on.
With every photo, there's always memories associated. So we just hope that this slideshow brought back some of those fun memories that you know helped shape you into the person you are today, and because of Pathfinder ministry.
So as we finish up, we're going to go to one last clip, and we're just going to let Mount Isa Pathfinders. This is a tiny little club in the back of Queensland. Mount Isa, g'day out there. A tiny little club at the back of Queensland that's going to kind of sing us a neat song, and it's going to be our prayer to finish.
Awesome.
So let's go to this slide. Good on you, Mount Isa Pathfinders, and goodbye, everyone.
See you.
We would like to give thanks to the Lord.